Okay, we're rolling. Up from the grave he rose, with a mighty triumph for his foes. He rose a victor from the dark domain, and he lives forever with his saints to reign. Okay, acapella, huh? No music. No. Took trumpet lessons when I was younger. I don't think my dad was too impressed. I traded my trumpet off for a motorcycle. Okay. No, not a real musical family here. Okay, we farmed in Saskatchewan, had cattle, like Amos and these fellas. Okay. I was June the 10th, and I was reading last night Jeremiah 45 here. Mentions abomination. See, we think only pork on a future altar or something is an abomination. Really, all kinds of things are abomination, like covetousness, the 10th commandment. Because you have burned incense and because you have sinned against the Lord, have not obeyed the voice of the Lord, nor walked in his law, nor in his statutes, nor in his testimonies. Therefore, this evil is happened unto you. But this is in the Old Testament. That's not relevant anymore, really. Well, should just read a little bit portion here. Burned incense to the Queen of Heaven. Oh, gee, that wouldn't be any reference to anything some people do, is it? Really? Well, Old Testament. Well, Daniel's Old Testament. What else is Old Testament? Let's see here. How about Malachi? People seem to like Malachi. Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse. Oh yeah, but they don't want to read the oppress the hireling part. Same chapter. Or Elijah's coming. Okay? And it mentions what? In Isaiah, being prophetic. Isaiah 66. Just happens to be not in the, maybe in the Lutheran seminary. Wasn't in the Lutheran book. The guy was a chaplain. He didn't even know there was another chapter. Just read up to chapter 5 in his book. And that's being prophetic. Okay? These things have not yet happened. The time is coming. And one day a nation shall be born. That's talking about Israel. Okay? Eating swine's flesh. See, these things are prophetic, but they don't want to read it. Oh, no, they like to read what they want to read. Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse. They like that part. Anyway. I was watching this at the start, and then I got up in the middle of the night and watched it with the headset on.
Of the hope that we must have, of the fact that we must wait with perseverance.
Whoops. What happened? Yeah, advertisement. Yeah, well.
And a very specific set of tools.
In
today's market, it's easy to get caught up in the noise.
Yeah, today's market is crashing.
The fact that is coming a day where not only the souls, not only the spirit,
okay.
our body is going to be redeemed.
See, they still got this Canaanite idea in there. Okay. How come Lazarus was resurrected on the 4th day? Because he's the God of the living. We need to be resurrected. And some will be caught up alive. He talks about that here a little bit. Okay? But the Canaanite type thinking is absent. They say it all at funerals especially. Absent with the body, present with the Lord. Really? After we're resurrected. What do we have to be resurrected for? See, there is a difference with God. Allah is the God of the dead. You have to die for your spirit to float off to some place. No, Enoch didn't die. Elijah didn't die. Others will be resurrected. This is Canaanite thinking. Zechariah 14:21. The new versions read it, trader and merchant. Unreal. Anyway, he goes on here. He's still this fella, Emeritus Farty. Yeah, well, people like to listen to him because he come out of, I think, some sort of Islamic background. So they want to listen to a guy like this.
1 Thessalonians 4, I do not want you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning those who have fallen asleep, lest you sorrow as others who have no hope. He says, guys, even if some of our brothers and sisters died, if they are believers, thank you, Lord. Because you don't have that lifestyle of having no hope like so many. He said, for if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so God will bring with him those who sleep in Jesus. For this way...
Okay, he mentions it, and then he just carries on right on into what most people read as 15 and 16, where the dead are resurrected. For those who sleep in Jesus. Okay? Sleep in Jesus. What's he referring to? Who's asleep? Oh, some cave somewhere with Enoch? Unbelievable. Yeah. All things are possible, only believe. But no, Lazarus died again, right? And what doesn't say that? How come he left from Bethany? And the grave, this is Matthew 27. And I keep going back to this because it's important. How can we understand where we're at in the present correctly if we don't understand the past correctly? Then we try to even project into the future. We don't even understand the present and the past. And the graves were open, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose. What? They were in the grave. They arose and came out of the graves after his resurrection and went into the holy city and appeared unto many. Now when the centurion and they that were with him watching Jesus saw the earthquake and those things, what things? People going into the city? No, not rolled up the hill. Didn't just roll out of the grave, okay? They were resurrected, like Lazarus, okay? This is on the Passover time, okay? Everything was foretold by the prophets of old, but you're so sure of yourself. Jesus said, because you're so sure of yourself, your arrogance, your self-esteem, psychology, twisted, that you think you know it all because you got a diploma, Mr. Young. Guy, I was in seminary when the guy was still in diapers. Okay? Here, quench not the spirit, despise not prophecy. Why? For appointed not to wrath. Okay, that's like mid-trib or pre-wrath. See, this already happened, Mr. Pre-tribbers. This is on the Hebrew day called first fruits. That is Revelation 14, verse 4. And unless we understand that, no, this is where I listen to the Pentecost. Hey, whoever is, it's not pre-trib. Hey, the hope of our salvation, hope of being resurrected, hope that will no more precede those who are asleep. Yeah, most of us, we don't look forward to it, but we don't have to be afraid of it. Because unless you're the beast and the false prophet, don't worry about being in the lake of fire. You're going to be resurrected. It might be after the 1,000 years, Mr. Pan-Trib. It'll pan out in the end, all right. You'll stand before the king and have to try to explain to yourself why you just remain lukewarm. Get off the fence. Be hot or cold. But no. So where are we at? 7 candles on the menorah. Jesus is referred to as the center servant candle. Enoch on the far left in the first 1,000 years. Psalms 90. Oh, but I didn't think it had the rapture in the Old Testament. Huh, really? Verse 10, we fly away. I was going to go to Revelation. Jude, little book of Jude. Mentions Enoch, okay? But beware. Joe Richardson. Beware. Need discernment. But I guess he figures he has discernment. He's sitting in his mansion. Go sell what you have and give to the poor. Oh, well, we surely wouldn't have to do that now, would we? That was just in the past. Really? First fruits unto God and to the Lamb. Revelation 14, about the 144,000. So how many's many? No, it's a round ballpark number, Mr. JW. And you're so much for some of your select first members. They kind of freaked out when I took the juice and the little cracker. You break off a piece. The guy just kind of looked at me like, what are you doing? Then when it came the juice, had a big long talk. You're only supposed to be that partaking. They pass it around. Nobody takes it unless you got the confirmation. You're part of the 144,000. Okay, so I took it. The guy freaked out. Well, how do you know I don't have the confirmation in the part of the heart? No, you don't want to discuss it. First fruits unto God and to the Lamb. Okay, they which were defiled with women. Hey, when we're resurrected, we're youthful virgins again. Lazarus wasn't old. That's why they couldn't find him at the dinner party. Okay? Ask Martha, where's your brother? Oh, he's sitting right here. Go away. He's a teenager. Youthful virgin again. Do you get the drift? We're not immortal now. See, the Canaanite teaching is we're already immortal. And we're going to go off to some sort of damnation, being tormented forever and ever. The guy came out of Rome and says into JWs because of that reason. But then they're held in another bondage. They go from boat to boat. This is what my wife done. She's gone now already this morning to do the counting at the Hebrew group. We went to Israel with the group. And who actually runs the show? The receptionist and the guy's wife. Yeah. The women run the show. Don't you know that? Come on. We're just Homer Simpsons. and the kids see right through it. And between that and what school teaches them, the Islamic father the kid had a fist fight with his Islamic father. Then he goes back overseas, and now he's got the kids here from the cousin that's a girlfriend, okay? And he figures his Filipino wife is okay with this. No, she's not. She's in the Philippines now. And I guess he went over there to see her or something. Built a house for her. Okay, yeah, she liked that. Okay, build me a house. And now as long as he sends her money, she's playing the game. I don't, send me the money. Is she going to come back here and live with the girlfriend and the other younger sons now? I don't think so. Oh, boy. Who sleep in Jesus. Okay. See, we're asleep in the grave until we're resurrected. Some people call it soul sleep, whatever. Hey, maybe some people actually do have a few things correct. That doesn't mean they don't hide things from people. Yeah, Seventh-day Adventist had a major split, like a lot of groups had when Israel became a nation again. 77 years old now, last May, this year. I knew that, came to realize that last fall during the Feast of Trumpets. Yeah, how many people were saying, oh, something's going to happen, something's going to happen. Yeah, but now, for some reason, they're like, oh, well, no, we said that last year, so it's not this year. And so they had to have Pentecost, going to be the rapture. Some people don't like the word rapture. Hey, it's Latin, Vulgate. Get over it. Harpozo in Greek, caught up. 1 Thessalonians 4. He actually starts at 13. But then he just slides right by it. Okay? Would not precede those who are asleep. Okay. It happened. So what is the next event? The next catching up. Let's go to Psalms. I mentioned that a little bit. Psalms. Oh, there's Psalm 68. Here. Yeah. How many chariots came for Elijah? Oh, we only know of one. Remember those stories? Prayed for the sea and the hills are filled with chariots. Here. The chariots of God, 20,000, even thousands of angels. And who was with them? The Lord Adonai. Adonai. No J in Hebrew, guys. So much JW. It's relationship. I didn't know my father's name was Henry. Everybody called him Harry. I called him Dad. Okay? Papa, whatever you want to. Is among them as in Sinai. Gee, I didn't know there was chariots at Sinai. Isn't that where you got the 10 Commandments? The 10 suggestions? In the holy place. Okay? Thou hast ascended on high. Thou hast led captivity captive. Captivity captive. Isn't that when he resurrected him from the grave? Yeah. So how many chariots? It's in context here. And the rebellious also. Oh, Samson was rebellious. Okay. His parents were not pleased with him. Hey, my mom, when she saw some native girls helping my uncle, the families there, for potato harvest. Yeah, he built his own potato harvesting equipment later on. Made a 2-engine 4-wheel drive tractor. This is our background. Okay. Psalms 90. Okay. Elon Musk's grandfather was something like that. Where do you think he gets his crazy ideas from? For 1,000 years are but yesterday. Yesterday. You mean like Peter made reference to a day as 1,000 years? 1,000 years as a day? How many days in the week? Do you get the drift? Or does this Canadian have to snow again? Calgary, Alberta. Here's my phone number. Yeah, my name's even... My wife set it up to YouTube. I don't know how to change it. Okay. I'm just an old toothless fart. I really struggle with this high-tech stuff. Yeah, I tried to take a school and I got kicked out. I asked too many questions. Tried to take CAD designing one time too. Working during the day, concrete was a little bit late. Should have been studying more. I was struggling all right. Teacher had to come by. I had to turn the switch on the computer. Some switch was off. I looked at it and says, "This is not working too well." No, I don't think it is. That was my last night class. On and on and on. We fly away. Psalms 90, verse 10. Is it talking about an airplane? Oh, maybe we mount up with wings as eagles. I don't think it's talking about eagles or fly or anything here. It's fly away. And 3 years and 10. Personal age? Some people don't even make 3 score. Okay? That's 60 and 10. I'm there. I'm there now. Okay? And by reason of strength, they 4 score. Guy I know, he's 94 or something, celebrates when he passes his medical for his driver's license. Yeah, 94. You're doing pretty good. Okay? Moved out of town. It's $900 a month. A little meat processing town east of Calgary, Alberta. Okay? Hey, go back to Saskatchewan. You phone up some of the small towns, ask them if you've got any property just for back taxes. Nobody's there. 1,200,000, something like Montana, low population. The guy was on, doesn't know why the northern states are low in population. Well, the trucking freight into and out of Havre, Montana for the 750 horsepower tractor, they should have made the deal in Winnipeg, Manitoba. It's owned by a Russian manufacturer now. 1 hour from the American border. The freight rates are less in and out of Winnipeg. Why? The Canadian trucks cannot drop off and pick off south of the border. How bad is it? Mr. Environmental? Look at some of your policies. Canadian trucks are driving empty all the way from Canada to Arizona to pick up the produce. Why? It barely covers the extra fuel dragging heavy loads over the mountains. We used to go through West Yellowstone Park, stop for a little lunch or coffee or something, and rent a snowmobile and take an hour or two off and have some enjoyment. But no, not now. Electronic shuts you down. You haven't got any time to waste. So now you're dragging heavy loads even through Butte, Montana. Picked a lady up in the middle of a snowstorm on the way to the concrete show. The guy was at the hospice now. He's 76. I'm only... On my driver's license, I'm not yet 70. When is the month of conception? Maybe there's something we should learn there. The teenagers will bring the parents out of JW when they learn about the conception. That's Hanukkah. But no, what do we have? Pagan birthdays, leaving the mother's womb. This is paganism too. And Mr. Adventist, the Filipinos are big into this. And you your pagan Christmas tree and pagan Easter, but you pat yourself on the back about your seventh day, Saturday. Do you really understand what the word Sabbath? It means Hebrew for rest day. Yeah, Passover is a high annual Sabbath. So unless we understand these things, what? Nothing's happened. It's all in the future yet. Nothing has happened since Jesus resurrected. Really? 3 days later. Full 3 days and full 3 nights. Not Good Friday with Sun Resurrection Day. See how twisted we get it? We keep trying to fit his written words into our traditions and doctrines. It doesn't fit. You know? Got 2 feet? Most people do. Hey, from the neck up is worth more than the neck down. We can hire you for processing the mushrooms. Okay, it'll help heat the greenhouse. I try to get this stuff off the ground. But I just, only 4 more months. Piece of trumpets. Anyway, what was I going to say? Talk about rabbit trails, right? Is try to fit both feet into one shoe. It does not fit. So what's the big debate? Pre-trib, most of us slide right past mid-trib, or referred to as pre-wrath, and go to the other extreme of post-trib. Okay? You want to look at post-trib? Let's go look at post-trib. Okay? Where are we going to go for that? Oh, let's go to, hey, many would sleep, okay, in the dust of earth, to shame and everlasting. I believe this is after the 1,000-year reign. After Revelation 21 is the 8th event. Okay? New beginnings. It's considered 8. Number 8. 7 is the number of completion. Okay. Zechariah 14. Okay, here he comes to the Mount of Olives, right? So, Mr. Super Rich Jew, Brahmins. You know what the Brahmins are involved with? Steam distillation. Yeah. You buy your way into his kingdom? I don't think so. Simeon Sorcerer tried that. Yeah. When did Romanism begin? Really? Canaanite kind of indication. Cain and Abel. I think the 7-day Adventists got something right there. No, we made a mistake. We're human. We all make mistakes, right? There it is, a white horse. I wrote it in. Some people think that's the Antichrist, future Antichrist coming. No. Simon the sorcerer around. Peter confronted him. Next thing he was dead. Saints were with thee. All the saints with thee. Isn't that something like 1 Thessalonians? Okay. This is kind of interesting, huh? For we believe died and rose again, God will bring with those who sleep in Jesus. Is there a connection here? All the saints with thee. See, the ambassadors are already chosen at the marriage supper. Heavenly marriage supper, not on the earth. Ephesians 4. Psalm 68, we read it. Took captivity captive. To where? Some cave somewhere? Unreal. Keep the Feast of Tabernacles. It's listed 3 times in the last half of the chapter. Why? It's important to know. When the teacher wrote something on whiteboard now. See, we use whiteboards now, or electronics. Back when I was in class, we had blackboards like this. Okay? And the teacher, if you acted up, it's like she chucked the chalk at you. So you knew it was coming, so you ducked and the kid behind gets hit. Whap! Oh, yeah. We were rascals, all right. The substitute teacher, she sent me down to the principal. And the substitute teacher knew I knew more about Eastern Europe history than she did. Yeah. Why? My mother is from the Ukraine. Stalin took my grandfather and uncle captive. Yeah. Bulldozed villages, made 100,000-acre farms, run by government people from Moscow. The food went back to Moscow while people starved on the farm. Hey, this is coming. Those 100,000-acre farms, Mr. American, they're on the New York Stock Exchange. Follow the money trail. Give a dollar value on the old equipment. Some of them you should have went to the scrapyard. Okay. The American forces want nice new equipment to work with. Okay. So they're testing it out now with the Houthis. Okay. Feast of Tabernacles. Okay. Just a little hint. Here's Canaanite. Yeah. The last verse of the last chapter. We don't even know what that means, do we? We haven't been taught this. Okay? But where are we at in history? It shall be in that day, living water shall go out from Jerusalem. How do you think they're surviving in Gaza? They tried to flood them out. There's living waters flowing from the mountains of Jerusalem, half toward the former sea and half toward the hinder sea. So, former sea, I think that would be the Dead Sea, okay? Half toward the hinder sea. Well, either way, where's my map? Oops, I got it covered over. There's Israel. The Sea of Mediterranean is very salty, twice as salty as the Atlantic. I didn't know that until I swam in it. Okay. But they seem to have no trouble making desalinated water from that. Here we go again. Down another rabbit trail. Yeah, when you buy Dead Sea salt, do you really think it's all from the Dead Sea? Come on, it's marketing. Ravished. Half of the city is ravished. Half is ravished. What happened during the lockdown? Okay, so this is already happening. There's live freshwater fish in the sinkholes of the Dead Sea. Well, guys in a kayak showing that online with Mark Blitz from Tacoma, Washington. And I asked the guy online, how did it get there? Is a kayak. He didn't know. Well, he doesn't want to say. He's a tourist guy. How do fish get in lakes here? We stock lakes for more fishing, tourism, okay? But no, some of the fish can go after fertilized, the female. The eggs can go right through the bird. That's how they get into high mountain lakes. So it's biologically possible. But I happen to think the guy wasn't being totally honest with us. Doesn't want to say. He's a tourist guy. He's putting the fish in the little sinkholes. Okay? This can happen in the middle of the Dead Sea. The fresh water does not mix with the salt water. It forms what they call a salt chimney up through from the very depths. And because of the heavy salt, the pressure down there is very, very high. But fresh water is coming in from the irrigated big orchards. They found aquifers under the desert sand. It fills up in the wintertime. The storms coming across Saudi Arabian deserts. Okay. the Sinai Peninsula, which maybe they should have kept, huh? Like, kept Gaza, Mr. American. You were part of the UN thing, forced it in. Okay? Now look at the disaster. Yeah, so-called two-state solution. Hey, Islam's peaceful. Really? Depends which hadith you're reading and who you're associating with. The mother was concerned her son might go off and get involved with some Islamic radical group. Wow. Why? Because what they taught him in the school here? Hey, your father's just a Homer Simpson, you know. What does he know? Here's this is Zechariah 13. 2 parts thereof shall be what? How come it mentions a difference here? Where is it? 2 parts thereof shall be, and the third shall be left. Well, if this is already happening, is there a possibility that this has already happened too? I would tend to think so. Okay? If it makes sense at all. But see, well, surely this happened. Really? He knew us in the womb. How many abortions in Tel Aviv? It's party town. Haifa is a military area like San Diego. Stepson's down in San Diego. Okay, there's my wife's grandson. You know, want to see a picture? My wife, there's my Filipino wife. Yeah, one wife at a time. Okay? You can't nail them down to the floor like the Christmas tree. Oh, my ex-wife. Oh, there's an issue. She was fighting some cancer. Do we actually pray for our enemies? Like our ex-wife? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. A man's enemy shall be of his own household. We make jokes about this. She was a good housekeeper. She kept the house. The Filipino wife? She's got a house in the Philippines. Her mother's in New York. And, like, I mentioned it again. Sell the house. No. No. Hold it so tight to it. Like the bird. You know, if it's yours, let it go. It comes back. You squeeze it. And you kill it. It's killing us. But what'd she listen to? Oh, she's off doing accounting with her receptionist that's at the Hebrew place. The Filipino guy didn't even talk to me 2 weeks. I wasn't even planning to go. I said to my wife, I'll maybe only get there when my king's on the throne. Wow. Next thing you know, there was a cancellation out of a group of 20. And next thing you know, I was on the plane. And the Canadian rabbi says, oh no. Some people wondered, why would he say, oh no? Oh, because I tend to rock the boat, you know, like Peter. Get out of the boat, get baptized again. I did that 2 weeks ago. The Lord showed me afterwards. No, Philip didn't have to run back to Jerusalem and ask permission from Peter or what the other ones pinned. He just did it. He dunked him again. Peter got dunked when he got out of the boat. Okay? That's the Holy Spirit power. And the guy has a teaching this week. Week later, after denying me, talking about having the power of the Holy Spirit. Isn't that ironic? Okay? Like, where are these people coming from? But the Filipino guy? He wouldn't even talk to me. Should have bought him the one book about forgiving your brother. Yeah, I lost my cool with him. Great big smirk on the face. He accused me right from the pulpit. What? I already had the mother's permission to talk to the teenagers. They learned about the volcanoes and why it's so dry up north even before it started happening. No. And his wife saw me downstairs. She's working in the kitchen. The overflow. It was too full upstairs. They had this lockdown, remember? But I'm accused right from the pulpit. Another guy came over to me. But see, he's pan-trib. He just goes along with whatever's going on. Okay?
The word of the Lord. When Paul says, "For this we say to you by the word of the Lord," Paul basically says, okay, I'm telling you exactly what God is speaking. Okay? It's not my opinion. It's not my theology. Look what God said.
God said. Okay. And you can back it up. But where he's missing it, things have already happened. Every 1,000 years. We're at 1,997 years after his death and resurrection. We're not yet 2,000. So what's going to happen? Well, the third temple has to come first. Really? We're right here. Okay? The branch. Who's the branch? Remember, we're grafted into the vine. The vine is a branch. Okay? Oh, you want to read it in other versions? Okay? And grow up out of this place, and he shall build a temple. Even he. I prefer the King James for different reasons, but I believe that should be capitalized. Shall build. What? Shall sit, and he shall. Priest. What? Isn't that talking about the feast of tabernacles? See, this is what. Okay, this is after he comes. Let's get it in context here. We can go back to another teaching back here. Maybe go back to that teaching. I saw it. Can I get this scroll up here? See if this goes back. No, maybe. Will it go back here? Maybe. Oh, here we go. Here, Daniel 9. Oh, Daniel 9. Oh, carbon grill onions. Get the advertisement off here. Okay.
Abraham Accords.
Abraham Accords.
One thing is becoming very clear. Things have
Daniel 9. Oh, Daniel 9. Let's go to Daniel 9. Okay.
Seems very clearly to be preparing for some climactic moment.
Climactic moment. Well, yeah.
It was prophesied a long time ago by the prophet Daniel. Now, what I want to do right now is take 2 minutes and go over 5 key developments that we've seen in the last year, from 24 to 2025. First, we've seen this renewed push for Saudi-Israel normalization.
Okay. We're having all these things happen in the Middle East, okay? We know that. Okay? Now, Daniel chapter 9. We can listen more to this. You can go to this guy later on and listen to him. Okay, there you are. Dog-eared disciple. He's got all kinds of stuff. I don't know. I just came across him, listened to him a little bit. A little bit. Because why? Yeah, and he's pre-trib too. American pre-trib. The Americans have more trouble coming out of this. Okay? Africans and other people in war-torn countries don't have as much trouble coming out when half their family's already wiped out. It's all nice thinking. No wonder people accuse them as being escapism. Well, it's a nice thought that we don't maybe have to go through these things. But tell that to the people that died over the years. That's prior to Nero. Let's bring it up to speed. You're 1,997 years behind. Here, Daniel chapter 9. Messiah. Okay? Then we slip down to here, verse 27. Oh, this is all in the future. Really? He should confirm for many for 1 week. 1 week. 1 week is 7 days. What's the center candle referred to? Jesus, Yeshua, the servant candle. Hey, that happened. And the temple curtain was... Hey, this is all in context. But no, they're going to teach that this is all in the future, when the future Antichrist comes. Really? Maybe we should go to this book that Adventists used to put out more. I pick it up and give it to the colony people. Why? They're actually mentioned in there. Some of the history of Russia and stuff. Okay? I know the history very well. One older, senior Hutterite guy, he looked at me. Why? What was my grandmother's maiden name? Hoffman. Do you get it? You think I don't know the Mennonite, Amish, Hutterite history? That was a teacher of theirs back in history. What do you think my grandfather and uncle were taken captive? Just like they know who I am now at City Hall, the city gates. Pray for your leaders? And the Lord said, well, you're not in Ottawa or in Regina right now. You're in Calgary, Alberta, so why are you not down at City? Edmonton is the capital. That's the better trucking route, freight route to BC. The Americans don't realize why Edmonton is the capital. Calgary was just a little hick town until the oil hit. It's closer to the skiing. It's closer to warmer in southern Alberta. Saskatchewan, the resort towns drop to half the population. They go get a private little charter plane and go to Costa Rica. Yeah, you got money in the bank because you can buy the place for half price. Okay. Why do you think they're moving to Idaho? Americans put canal-like docks, power plants, all the way up the Columbia River. You can bring big ocean tankers for shipping grain out. Some of the grain from Saskatchewan, like lentils, I grew them, made them double potting. The seed inspector wondered how I did that. He was totally shocked. He estimated the yield times 2. Why? Well, I learned it from a guy from Norway who only had a 40-acre farm. See, in Saskatchewan, to waste and trying optimal yields. The fig tree in an optimal year has 3 harvests. Okay, guy from Israel got kicked out for evangelizing. Didn't know that. Okay.
Are reporting that Trump's team has...
Oh yeah, blah 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 blah. Trump's team. Hey, by the way, I think the mainstream media is doing a real number on people. Steps on San Diego mentioned it. The plane crash there, water tower in the back. Why all the plane crashes? According to your National Safety Board, there's no more, actually less crashes now under Trump than was during Biden. You know what the difference is? They take every little plane crash and it's national news now and they trump it to death. Why? They don't like Trump. We're going to make him look like a real egghead. Well, do I agree with everything he's doing? No, not at all. Okay, here's the same guy here. Okay, go down through his different scroll. The man of sin revealed. See, it's all in the future yet. Here we go. The man of sin revealed. See, Napoleon didn't take the Pope captive. Really? How come the Swiss Guard at the Vatican? Hey, I was wondering if they still had that. Yeah, I saw the Swiss Guard, their fancy hats, at the Pope's funeral. How come the Swiss Guard is there? Because Revelation chapter 13 already happened. But see, they're pushing it all in the future yet. When? Oh, Ezekiel 37. The dead bones are resurrected. Well, gee, what happened? How many people got resurrected? Okay. How come 7 times 7, 49, and I believe it's from the annual Sabbath days, and it's not even on a Sunday. How many days how can you walk unpacking Daniel's 70 week? He has a thing here about the rapture comes first and then the end times. Will we be raptured or left for the wrath of the last? Where was the one about the temple? Yeah, see, this is what he's promoting. You can take your time, go through some of this stuff. Coming illusion of peace and the eminence of the rapture. He's pre-trib. Mentioned somewhere here about the third temple. Here it is. Why a rebuilt Jewish temple confirms the pre-tribulation rapture. Well, there you go. This is where he's at. No. Pentecost already happened. Daniel probably walked all the way from Babylon. Yeah, about 20 miles a day, maybe 30 kilometers. Take even a Sabbath day rest off. People ask him, who are you? I'm Daniel. Oh, go away. You're a young guy. See? We're all youthful virgins again. Walked all the way. Is that why he had it 50 days later? But Daniel had to walk all the way from Babylon. Maybe Shinar, Iran. That's where the missiles are being fired from, by the way. Okay? It's just on and on. They pick and choose. John 3:13. Only Jesus that came from heaven went to heaven. Oh. Herbert W. Armstrong got on radio. Then later on his son got on, Garner Ted, and they even had a falling out. Well, Garner Ted maybe liked his lady friends too much, something like David. Okay, and never saw one lady on any of the rooftops sunbathing. Solar panels and water. No, never saw. Maybe an odd piece of clothing drying in the wind. No, liberal society. But I never saw one lady sunbathing on top of the rooftop. Don't blame David totally. It takes two to tango. She could have said no, just like Joseph said no to Potiphar's wife. Okay, and he got in big trouble for it. Okay? So don't think Bathsheba wasn't part of it. Okay? How do you think I ended up with my first wife? Oh, really? Same church background, same everything else. Hey, innocent little girl. Con my uncle out of a car. I wasn't even with her anymore. Actually, we think the word charm is witchcraft. The ladies know how to charm us, guys. Come on. A little bit of leg, a little bit of cleavage. Come on, buddy. You're coming with me. Guys make the decisions. Come on. Pastors make jokes about it. Who turns the neck? I said it in Winkler, Manitoba to the Mennonites. You should put the wife in the nursery. She can listen to you. No. body language. She shakes her head no, and he starts saying something different behind the pulpit. Who's controlling what behind the pulpit? Yeah, there's spirits around. You bet. And they use body language big time. When Jesus said, upon this rock, he's maybe pointing at the scriptures, or he's maybe pointing at himself, you know. He was the rock. Peter was the pebble. But what are we taught? And who's teaching all this other stuff? It's called Counter-Reformation. The Jesuits came in with all this sort of teaching. And Obadiah, Mr. America, and apparently the Americans made a big donation to a building in Jerusalem for Obadiah. Now you have the first Pope from Chicago. Really, during the last Trump. Some are very concerned about this. What's going to come down? The coming illusion of peace and the imminence of the rapture. Okay. Hey, I guess I'd rather have pre-trib than post-tribbers, or this pan-trib. What a lukewarm. Get off the fence. So I go to the Adventists once in a while. Yeah. I get static about stuff if I say too much. Get chucked out the door, most of them. Yeah. You ever had a kind of a down day? Get you out of the doldrums. Get your adrenaline pumping. Fulfill revelation. Get cast out the door. I guarantee you your adrenaline will be pumping. I've probably been ousted out of more places. Okay? I really... the one last place, the wife from the early Cantonese function was asking a few questions about me. I haven't been back there lately. The Mandarin guy I got to know, he was in the later service. He's back out as a ship captain out in BC. I wish he would text me. Once in a while I'll see something about ships, I text him. I haven't really got into... Yeah. It's kind of ironic. I talked to him one day at the Toyota dealership in town here. They have nice coffee. Us seniors know how to save a buck. Go from dealership to dealership. Yeah, I think some of them get annoyed at us too. Okay, go away, old man. When I come in with my wife, then the sales guys know, oh, we better talk to him now. Well, they know right well the wife is making the final decision about the vehicle. Hey, us guys, we're just tagging along, aren't we? But then when we put these fellows up at their gurus, and they come, the Bible warns about it. Yeah. They come onto the weaker vessel. We all have different weaknesses. We're all mortals yet. Okay? Do you really believe, and that's right, made the water into fermented wine? See, we like that idea. Fermented wine. When there was children at the wedding, we call it fetal alcohol syndrome. He clearly says it's for the ill, medicinal, and for the aged. So what are you doing at your Passovers, having it on the table with children there? Wonder why the Mormon came over to check out the Passover. Wonder why he sat at our table. No, I don't want it. I told my wife, I don't want it at our table. If I had my choice. But now I seldom even go to that. Why? Unpacking that. There's all this. So I go listen to the guys And they sing this, he's coming again, coming again. That's Adventist singing. Yeah, they kneel down and pray. When was the last time we actually knelt down? Do that more often. Okay? We're so lazy. Just lay in bed and say a prayer. Well, maybe get out of the bed and get on your knee. And then when he says to do some fasting, to do it. And then people accuse me of, what, bragging? Because I'm trying to encourage people. Hey, the people that are into health, they don't just believe, say a few magic words. They believe in, the world has got more sense sometimes than us children. We think just say a few magic words over some food and now it's okay. Really? Just scavenge the air, land, and sea. And even the way we're raising our beef. Why do you think we had mad cow? The things we're doing agriculturally are not good. But we just think, we just say a few magic words and everything's okay. And we got a problem, just say a few magic words and everything's okay. And maybe sometime there is some dramatic divine deliverance. But don't expect it every time. Just because my son walked at 1 year old when the doctor said he couldn't. Now what? If he was a preacher, stand behind the pulpit and say, like you'll be some already immortal? Just because God used something to get our attention doesn't mean he does it the same way every time, Mr. Pentecostal. Like what? Rapture comes first, end times, order of events. Oh, wow, this guy has quite a few teaching. I could tell it's more professionally done. His bookshelves are all nice and neat and tidy. It's probably a study. Fivefold ministry. I guess God isn't doing anything anymore. Well, he says in his word he doesn't do anything without telling his prophets. But what are they teaching? There's no more evangelists, no more prophets, no more apostles. We just have pastors, which are a teaching position, more administrative. No, most of them do very little evangelism. When you do try to do something, they interrupt you. Arrogant or what? Because they're sheep herding. I've been accused of sheep stealing. So, JWs can accuse me of that too. See? It's okay if I get him out of the JWs. One guy is an Adventist now. He just got out of the one boat into the next. That's what my wife did. She got out of her Sunday boat into the Messianic Hebrew group, into their boat. Well, I'm glad, that was down in Lethbridge. I'm glad the guy in Lethbridge is still mid-trib. Most of them go to post-trib because of association with others. Yeah, the Jew, it's all in the future yet. No. Jesus, their Messiah came. Like, wake up. But where's the pre-tribbers at? This happened. Let's go forward. Acts 16:11, King James, teaching guy. Very good teaching. But they're pre-trib. The one Aussie guy realized the Americans didn't know about something. So he clued them in a bit. Mr. American, you think you know so much about other countries? He used to come up here, wonder where the igloos are in the middle of summer. Hey, they come from Toronto too. Where's the tar sands in the canola field, bright bloom? I said, just over the hill. I went back over to him and said, nah, it's about a whole day's drive north yet. The Filipinos come here. They think it's one big mining project. What? They fly up here, the celebrities, and the Chinook winds are coming on the mountains. Oh, look at the climate crisis. Look at it. Hey, when did the glacier get the largest? When the volcanoes went off. How warm was it in the UK 500 years ago? Like, who cares? Well, they had vineyards. How warm was it? It froze later when the volcanoes went off. Why do you think it's so smoky? The volcanoes are going off. One down near Guatemala, some in Mexico. Just 70 kilometers south of Mexico City. The Mexican truck driver didn't even know. His flight was canceled. They had to call him from the airport here. Canadian trucking? What a joke. The guy went back to the UK. Took one time. Interprovincial trucking. 8 months to get my paycheck. How can I have a proper credit rating? Come on. It's a civil offense, not criminal. I still cross the American border. What? How can I even pay my traffic fines? So go ahead and put me in jail. See my native friends. They already got a criminal record. Why do you think they finally made the beyond sight drones legal? Why do you think they had it in the war? The farmers already had them. This is huge business in San Diego and stuff. The stores over here, they got little toys. Okay. Oh. Well, learn on a toy. Get your license. Huge business opportunity for young people. And oil executive people I know are willing to put the down payment down. Oil executive people? He was at the Carriage House Inn. Made a big donation for the Israeli EMS. I don't know. It's called some other word. Can't even remember what. The equipment's donated from other places. Yeah. They even start doing surgery in the ambulance. Why? You get electronic wireless communication right with the surgeon. Well, he's gonna die before you get him there. Well, start operating now. Stabilize him if you can. So maybe we can save him if he's still alive. Don't have to revive him. Back from the grave? Okay. Do you really believe some people saw Santa Claus? I had to talk to the girl. She had some dramatic events. She believed she was out of body. I talked to her about it. I said, do you really believe some people saw Santa Claus? Other people see a hellfire? Hey, we can be deceived. If you're dying from thirst, and no, a finger dipped in water isn't going to quench your thirst. It's a hyperbole. Okay, I think that's Matthew 22 as well. Let's go to Matthew. Back to, there's Amos. Amos 1. Zephaniah 2 is Gaza. Who actually forced Gaza in? Mr. American. Okay. You think you're so smart. Okay. Matthew 22. See, our self-esteem. We think we're so smart because we got a diploma. We traveled around the world and telling other people what. Matthew 22. I really kind of struggled through this whole thing. But I believe it's a hyperbole now. It's like the finger dipped in water didn't quench. He's not saying it is that way. He's saying even if it was that way, even if you came back from the dead, you still wouldn't believe it because you chosen not to believe the prophets. Doubting Thomas saw the nail prints, okay, and the side. One Islamic guy said, well, he didn't really die. I said, he was run through with a Roman spear. You don't believe he died? He didn't know what to say. Just a good guy. Good guy went around claiming what? He's either a total lunatic, Jesus, or he was who he said he was, or an out-and-out liar. Now, which is it? Take your pick. just a good prophet going around claiming what do you think they nailed him to the cross? They didn't want to accept it. Even though he healed the blind eyes, that was a major sign. But no, they didn't want to. And they were politically appointed by Rome. How many of these gurus, because they got a diploma, think they're basically appointed by our atheistic government system because you got a diploma from some sanctioned college, and psychology is a mandatory class, Mr. Adventist, now, but you don't want to read the book called Psycho-Heresy by Botkin or by Dave Hunt, Seduction and Christianity Beyond Seduction. You think I don't know what I'm talking about? One guy in a Bible study accused me of, yeah, I do know what I'm talking about. Because I've been in the seminary and I walked away from it. Something like trucking. People think they know a little bit. I talk to them a little bit. I can soon tell they don't know as much as they think. Hey, learn something new every day. I learned from log truck drivers. Yeah. We only got 2 feet and there's 3 pedals. So how are you going to downshift and use the clutch, and you have to bring up the engine speed to go to gear lower? Hey, forget the clutch. Put your left foot on the brake. And you got to bring up, control the engine RPM with the right foot. Forget the clutch. I can tell very quickly how much trucking do you really know. You know, learn a little bit of mechanics. See, these mechanics, they think they know so much. And they try to con people. I bought the old Yukon. The guy's brother-in-law, mechanic, told him, well, it must be the alternator. They put a new battery in it. We had to boost it. It was dark, lights on, heater going, and we drove around the block. Didn't even have proper plates on it, okay? Well, I want to test out the 4-wheel drive and stuff a little bit, okay? Then we get back. It wouldn't start at all. And he thinks it's the alternator yet? Come on. I grew up around this stuff. I don't care if your brother-in-law's got a diploma. What, to plug in the thing and it tells you what's wrong? Most of these mechanics are only technicians now. Learn a little bit. And they'll try to con you big time. Head gasket, pull the thermostat out, less head pressure, and it might hold for a little bit. Might work once in a while. Some of it is antifreeze compatible now. Well, maybe it has to use components in antifreeze. And it has lubricant in the water in antifreeze. They took it off the market. Why? They want to sell parts and repairs. The preacher's not going to tell you this stuff. But you're paying them for what? Who's helping you? Well, maybe pay them. Maybe they appreciate it. But you want to nickel and dime every little bill, take advantage of other people. They took advantage of Gutenberg. Yeah, they took the printing press from it. How come the pastor doesn't teach you to go make restitution like the guy did in the Bible? Because it's all about them and their money. They took the printing press to London, England. They should have gave back some restitution to Gutenberg. But they didn't. I don't believe they did. And the pastor doesn't tell you to do that, do they? Because they live in a comfortable lifestyle. You know, who are these people? Mark Blitz going to Israel. Just got back from Israel. He's going this fall again. But keep the donations rolling. Okay, Matthew 22. Into outer darkness. And I was like, what are you saying here? Outer darkness. Well, we call it outer space, right? There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Weeping. How you won't be jumping for joy because you got kicked out. And gnashing of teeth at who? To those that told you what? The false teaching. So you're outer darkness on your way back to earth. What? Nobody's going to believe you. So it's a hyperbole. I believe that's what it's called. He's not saying it is this way. But the warnings are there. For many are called, but few are chosen. Enoch had to be counted worthy. No, not by doing our little penance. Okay? Climbing up, doing whatever religious functions. Doing what he asks us to do. Get in the water. Get the Holy Spirit. A leopard doesn't change its own spot. We need the power of God to change us. No, we're not sanctified right away. The guy with the more whiskers than I got. You want to see my mugshot here, but whoopee-doo. I got some problem with my eye here right now. Use some more colloidal silver. The bright lights bother me, so I put my glasses down. I saw a Canadian Tire had them for $5. This is from something like Harbor Freight Princess Auto. They get scratched up. I lose them all the time. Hey, I only have some timers, I can't remember.
Hey, I'm a handicapped here. I can't hear, I can't see. I go play chess with a guy down at the mall. Okay, we're gonna be living there. So the sofa service, the people give me a coffee too,
My wife doesn't like it when I pretend I'm handicapped. More than I am. Hey, I have some problems. Big 7-0 now from my conception. Only in December on my driver's license, okay. From the atheistic system. They recognize when we left the mother's womb. The guy in protesting abortions, he caught the drift right away, even though he's 90-some years old. But then he turns around, wishes his grandkids and stuff, birthdays. Oh yeah, we just love our traditions, don't we? Okay. Yeah. Any donations for dentures? There's some new types out there we'll look once in a while. The bottom plate always bothered me. I had amalgamated fillings. I was starting to lose it. Maybe because of my health problems. The enamel wasn't real strong. Got these pitted Sensodyne I was using. Got real sensitive. Should have drank the coffee at night without the sugar in it. 2 years of doing that as a truck driver. Teeth were history. So what do? Can't make dental appointments. Get them all out. What? Popping painkillers, trying to drive down the road. Be aware. This is where guys think they can have a little cocktail, think they might have the night off. Well, how many times that doesn't work out? They call you, hey, can we do you a favor? But don't be on any medication and had that odd cocktail because, hey, this is dynamite. Former colony guy. Where did the drinking start? Homemade wine. Okay. You're supposed to be zero tolerance. They give you an odd beer at a concrete job. I drove away. It was on the back fender. It dropped on the floor. I didn't even want it. Okay. The guy had popped it over, gave it to me. Oh. They're doing this straight at the concrete door outside after work. In the truck stops. get called. Hey, the one time I'm replacing the windshield on the semi I had, worked all night. Good thing I didn't have a cocktail or anything. Have a toothache, pop a pill, next thing I'm hired a kite. Okay? This is where it's happening. Okay? But nothing's said about the pharmaceutical. Why? Where do you get the word pharmaceutical? I talked to a native girl in Canada here. Animals know better. And what's she doing? Running down. They get you running in circles. Okay? From one medical to another. From one specialist to another. I said, well, maybe you should go find your medicine man. Willow bark is maybe healthier than aspirin. It's got other derivatives in it. See, they make it from that. Animals. Why does a cat or a dog chewing blades of grass? Well, it's dry to maybe throw up a hairball because they got a gut ache from eating some dead animal. Yeah, they got problems. But when the dew's on the grass, there's a mineral sulfur present. No, the preachers don't tell us any of this stuff. You know why? Because they're involved with pharmaceutical. Oh, we wouldn't want to offend the pharmacist and the medical doctor, would we? Follow the money trail. It's warned about. The lukewarmness is warned about. Okay, that's Matthew 27 again. Matthew 24. I'll just go to Matthew 24. People want to debate their different versions. Matthew 24 is a real one that I go to all the time. But 24:12. And because of iniquity, the guy says, I don't know what iniquity means. He's actually Canadian. Well, get the dictionary, look it up. I looked it up the other day on Google right here. Okay? Yeah. It's got some interesting statements about it. What we do knowingly and willfully transgressing his written word. But what are we taught? Oh, this is no law. That's in the Old Testament. That's not relevant anymore. Really? So you just say some magic words over the food and everything's okay? Not everything that comes out of my mouth, especially when I associate with truck drivers, is sanctified. My wife just, the F-bomb really flows. Hey, they give me static about not having the truck floor nice and clean. I said, maybe you clean up the air around here. The air is just foul, the language. Hey, in Canada that day, half a dozen young people, every second, oh my G-O-D, oh my G-O-D. Gee, I felt like asking them, are you saying your prayers or something? They say J-I-C? I say, oh, did you see him? No. Non-religious, but that's okay. But you say the F-bomb in Canada, oh, that's a major no-no. Lady ticked me off the other day. The other guy realized what I was doing right away. Well, okay. Here's a little. Why are noses so special? Well, try to not to do it in public because they're handpicked, you know? Okay? I should blow my snot. Fighting a little bit. Sneezed once this morning already. 3 times in a row. Okay. Maybe something in the air. I don't know. Used to be really bad. But if our nose is itchy, well, scratch it from the outside, you know. You know, maybe do it with 2 fingers. They kind of don't know what you're doing here. We do it with this, they kind of got the drift right away. Like, I didn't have to tell the words, I just, like this. Oh, the guy got upset right away. I said, oh, sorry, maybe I should have done this instead. Like, what? See, if I would have said G-O-D or J-I-C, that would have been okay. But no, not the F-bomb. Little British humor here. What did they name KFC in the UK? Yeah, their sales actually is a good sales promotion. They named it FCK. See, Canadians, whoa, we're real uptight about that. Canadians are different. Target was here only 2 years. They pulled back and said, nope, Canadians are different. Yeah, it varies from province to province too, and group to group. I'm not your average Canadian. My mother and grandmother came as refugees from the Ukraine. I got second cousins in Kansas. I should look them up again. I wanted to spend the winter down there to go to school. Cold weather. I got sick again. It's amazing. I even graduated. One time I was on a dialysis machine in high school. Yeah, my kidneys are shut down. The neighbor kid went through kidney transplant. My grandmother's, the oldest one, my dad's was older than me, my grandmother. Grandfather, actually. My one grandmother was my dad's age. Well, what else is new? Jacob was 77 years old when he married me. Like, what was that all about? Well, hey, how many of the men were killed? There's nobody around. And your daughter's of age. He took a liking to Rachel. Okay, he wants the older daughter married off first. So, I mean, her biological clock is ticking too. So Laban was a little bit deceptive there. Oops. Well, okay, we'll just look. You can have the other one too. Maybe right away, but maybe 7 years later. Okay, she was maybe quite a bit younger. We're not sure. Anyway, left 7 years later, says 84 years old with Joseph and the two wives. One wife at a time. That's enough problem. Jacob's trouble. Yeah. Is that why we're told Jacob's trouble? Israel is 77 years old now, this year. Hour and a half now. Feast of 4 more months. Only 4 months till the Feast of Trumpets, September 23rd, 2025. Hey, let's talk about this a little bit. Okay? 2 years ago, people were saying, oh, something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. The one guy, Messiah 2031 then he changed later on to 2032. It's hard to estimate the age when things happen. Okay, we're not 100% sure of that. But we kind of know when the temple was destroyed in 70 AD. Curtain was tore. Okay, what happened? You know, he was 32 or 33 when he went to the cross. Okay, and that should be when our calendar really starts, when we become the second Adam. Guy says, well, that sounds like Mormonism. I can't help it if they got an odd little thing right, a little bit. They twist their other doctrines around it. Herbert W. Armstrong, UCG, much the same idea. The guy got me almost ousted out the door too. He had to, he has to have everything 100% his way. Like his older son says it's a whale. I just reamed him out in front of everybody. Then he wonders why his son doesn't want to sit in the study with his daddy. Like what? It's a Leviathan. It's on terminology. It's a big fish. We call it a whale. Something like the Sea of Galilee. I didn't know it was a freshwater lake. I should have realized it. It's on the Jordan River. See? Who was it divided the Jordan during flood season? During flood season. Just because we haven't made a movie about it doesn't... See, most people don't know that... Name. It'll come to me. Not... Is Moses divided the Red Sea, not the Reed Sea. See? God knew we were going to come up with these lame duck excuses. The horse and the rider fell into the sea. Okay, should have some music here, huh? Maybe my acapello's not so great. There's one group in here. They backed off a little bit on their acapella. They have some music sometimes. The guy doesn't want to read Revelation. Retiring to Vancouver Island. That's a nice place to retire. He says he's not retiring, but he didn't want to read Revelation. He says it's got too much bad for words right now. Okay. Anyway, I said, well, we'll go to Zechariah then. No, he didn't want to do that either. The young preacher, he didn't want to read Zechariah chapter 5. A talent of lead. Talent's a big number. I'm not sure how heavy it is. Big number of lead. Lead is heavy. Is it a paperweight flying through the air from Shinar, Iran? Gives even the dimensions. 20 cubits by 10 cubits. I believe that's talking about the circumference. What's the size of the missiles on the submarine as a museum piece in New York Harbor? Yeah. We live in Calgary, Alberta. There's a park here called Heritage Park. No, I guess we don't go to places. It's too close to us. We got to go all the way to New York and tour down there. Maybe New Yorkers haven't even gone down there. Go down there. Check it out. Yeah, it's the size of the missiles, I believe, in Zechariah chapter 5. Like I'm sitting there and the rest of them went downstairs through the submarine to see how crowded it is. I'm sitting there estimating, pacing it off, looking at these missiles. Like, why? The Lord just showed me, hey, this is what Zechariah chapter 5 is. And then when I wasn't even supposed to be on the plane, got to Israel, there was a missile fired from Shinar, Iran, across the Persian water at the Saudi oil refinery. I believe it's a warning shot. They didn't like Saudi Arabia being involved with the West with the oil. Okay, on and on and on. This is the times we live in. But do these, you know? Guy at Lethbridge accused me of not being a pastor. I says, you know I'm not called to be a pastor. I said something about the colonies. He said, yeah, we've been praying about them. Okay, yeah, pray, but maybe somebody should actually go there. You think they do? Oh, they're busy. They're busy doing what? On the golf courses and everything else. Come on. Another conference on a Caribbean cruise boat. Gets back and have another teaching about giving more because people should be blessed more. Okay, you take by force or deception from somebody. Think God will bless us? And then the preacher says, well, how come the doors are open for Peter? Well, maybe because he got out of the boat. Okay? And got baptized again. But no, they don't want to do that. Why? Because Romanism? And who influenced Rome? Before they were enslaved in Egypt. You think they didn't travel the Mediterranean? The guy at Lethbridge teaches that Solomon had trade routes around the world. Some of the DNA can be checked out. Yeah. There's only one race on this planet. It's called the human race. Economic discrimination is more realist. It takes money to get your diploma. It takes money. You think you're going to print a book? The one lady in Lethbridge got a room full of books. Unless you're a celebrity. Don't waste your money. I told them out at the lake here. Don't waste your money on it. Most of the books now are what they called e-books. Oh, sure, the publisher will take your money. That doesn't mean the book's going to sell, you know. It's like a lot of things. You can have the best idea in the world, but if you don't have the money to develop it and promote it, I wanted to give Musk the ideal way for the car. For them, why? Once they see it on the other car, they'll say, hey, where can I get it for my car? Aftermarket. Yeah, good. I'm not greedy. Better to have a slice of the pie of something. Grow the pie big enough, and you got a big. See, we get this idea, and we're afraid to share. Hey, somebody will eventually come up with the idea anyway. How many times this happens? Pay for a patent? I said to the guy from Red, Alberta with an agricultural item, I said, oh, that's interesting. You got these items in Australia. Yeah, I said, the Chinese could copy this. He says, well, I have a patent. I said, did you think the Chinese really worry about that? Manufactured back in Yorkton, Saskatchewan. The older guy, I told him to put tracks on it. And the younger guy, maybe the nephew, his accountant or whatever, I said, make it remote control. He's real happy about that. Well, who owns the company now? I heard it's owned by East Indians now. Made in Canada? Really? Assembled in Canada, like the big concrete pump out in Vancouver, BC. 51% Canadian content, made in Canada. Really? Where's the frame for this little skid steer loader made? On a Hutterite colony. I know for a fact it's contracted out. Could have a 14-year-old kid. I walked into one farm shop. The kid was grinding with no goggles on. I said, I come here again. I don't want to see that. You're not paying workman's compensation or nothing. Yet when he gets something in the eye, they take the kid to the doctor and want free Medicare. All right. Get the goggles on. Like, what are you doing? And the shops in town have to compete with this stuff? Made in Canada. You think Trump doesn't know this? National Transportation Board apparently said there's no more, even less accidents than under Biden. Fires from smoke from Canada. The guy, American, said, no, there's lots of fires in their mountains too. So Chicago, it's not all from Canada. Why doesn't Ontario have more fires? Well, look on the map. I mean, Hudson Bay. It's all water. You know? You can make water burn, but, you make it into hydrogen. How do you do that? Hey, this is what I play around with. All my life I've played around with stuff. When Dad used to give me static, my one uncle, always building equipment. Dad says, why don't you stay home and do some of your farming? Well, Dad, I can't be in two places at one time. Where do you think I learned some of these things about growing canola, Canada oil? We didn't have a mustard problems on the farm. The guys around the heavy land around Regina did. They were growing lentils. Dad thought we had too much rock. Well, punch them into the ground. Okay? Great big roller. Fill it up with water and punch the darn rock into the ground. Use a little bit of zero tillage. Into standing stubble because I straight cut it. And it came up through. It protects it. Then you put some top dressing on, micronutrients. I learned that from... And double pod. Wow! The seed inspector was totally shocked. Yeah, I was flipping farmland. Took me years to figure this out, put things together with what Trump was doing in New York. Business. Entrepreneurial. That's my background. Evangelistic. I'm not called to be a pastor. I helped the Ethiopian guy get the job on the Astro Mini Mix. Why? The guy won't hire me. I'm too much of a contractor, self-employed. That's how he knows me when I had my semis. And I find out from him, he laughs at me, my crazy ideas. Hey, does he know how to flip the equipment? No. The taxes are so high, they're going broke. The guys with the little auto body shop, 3 brothers, they just inherited it. I said, take an equity position with a builder. And you don't have to get rid of your building. They can put it all overhead, put more acoustics in it because you're actually too close to the LRT station. The bells going off all night. Why do you think the hotel had some problem, especially one guy stayed there? He was from the Union, West Coast. He told me what the strike was really all about. How'd you like to be 5 years away from your pension and your hours are cut? My son's going through this in Saskatoon. Being forced to take out a train with no conductor on. Safety? It's all double talk. Gonna save 40 or 50 bucks, no conductor, on a multi-million-dollar equipment. Like, downtime is critical. Where was the tugboats that hit the bridge? I'm praying about this, and I happened to talk to an Asian fellow. He's in Calgary, Alberta. He's a ship captain. I says, well, what are you doing here? There's no big ships here. Oh, well, he's got a new girlfriend here or something. And he's back in Nanaimo, BC now, hoping to get on a small cruise boat. He doesn't even want on this new stuff. It's not reliable. Why did the ship hit the bridge? Where was the tugboats? I was suspicious about it. Somebody else at an aviation repair shop north of town here. Guy's got his own double-engine little plane. Front and rear engine. Real fast little plane. Only 2 hours from Calgary, north of Calgary, Alberta, to Saskatoon. Well, one guy, trucking company, says he might have to need it. He misses his flight. Okay, fine. Hey, we can fill up the rest of the seats. It's not really that much more per person. Fly it directly to where we want to go. Greenhouse in northern Manitoba, out in the cold. Hey, he's trying a Chinese-style greenhouse. See, these pastors don't deal with this. Why? They're administrative. The administrative accountant thinks he's running the trucking company when the guy's gone. Really? Who told them about? The guy was shocked when I wasn't burning any more fuel. Don't be putting on extra miles. They're watching you. Now with electronic logbooks, you better stop in the middle of the mountain pass in the middle of nowhere. Well, this is a great idea, isn't it? You can't wait until the road is thawed off. Until they start driving. I beat the one guy back from the mine sites. Okay, why? He hit the deer. Management didn't want to, dispatch didn't want to admit it. I says, nah, I saw hit the deer. I saw the tow truck going. Like, okay. The trucking company's going broke with this, one after another. 2 drivers in a truck. Oh, that's great in theory, isn't it? I told my wife I'd rather have the truck parked and a robot assisting me. You know, all my wife had to do sometimes is just rest your eyes. I didn't set the timer and I fell asleep at one construction site on the highway. Yeah. Sometimes you just rest your eyeballs. All she has to do is the light's green. Let's go. Okay. You know, I'm good for maybe another, 5-minute break. If you oversleep, then I'm maybe good for another hour. Why? Push. Oh, I only got another hour to go and then that's the guy's turn. Really? I only got another hour to go. I gotta hurry because my electronic logbook. This is not working. And Trump knows it. And the mainstream media has got this brainwave that they think they know so much. And that's how a lot of these pastors are too. One pastor at a little coffee shop, Tim Hortons here. Okay? I think they had one in Buffalo, New York. We were looking for one in Vegas. Couldn't find it. This guy at the hospice remembers. Come back Stopped the one guy who's down south of Calgary here. And the guy says, "No, Al, you were 2 hours talking to the guy with lost his leg, a veteran. 2 hours." I thought maybe an hour. He says, "No, Al, it was 2 hours." Hey, people were gathering around listening to me. This happened at the big cathedral, RC Cathedral in Mexico one time, right in the town square. The police came and checked out my bag and stuff. See, what's this guy on? Some sort of stuff. Checked out. They were listening to me right in front. This is who I am. Okay? You can probably tell by I can go down rabbit trails this way, that way, everywhere. I don't have no script here I'm following. All made out, all nice, professional. Hire somebody to go read through. Yeah, I can recognize the voice. The guy's hired to read it. One time he'll be reading a 7-day Adventist, and next time he will be reading for somebody else, slamming the 7-day Adventist. You think I don't know what's going on? The guy's a hired hand. Your sheep? You're just a hired hand. The shepherd went to find the lost sheep. You don't have 99 sheep without having somebody look after them. You know, put the two parables together. But see, they don't get this. Does Hosea 6:2 pinpoint the rapture? That's kind of interesting. Hosea 6:2. Maybe we should read that, huh? Hosea. Help me. Hosea. Oh. I'm coming an hour and 45 minutes over now. Hosea. Oh, gee. Here. Do it the old-fashioned way. Hosea. Okay? My brain just is not functioning totally today. Contents. Hosea. Zephaniah. Malachi. See, what confuses me sometimes, Hosea, that's just after Daniel. Okay? 13:27. Just kind of... so I have some timers. I know what I need. A coffee. Yeah. It's coming up to what time? Yeah, it's getting up to time. I need a coffee. I put some dried cat powder in with my Metamucil. Not really good coffee. 13:27. Okay. Hosea 13:27. Let's see what it says. See, so I get things from people too. 13. After Daniel. Okay, Daniel. I'm in the Daniel. They put that in a different order in this big Hebrew book. Okay, that kind of confuses me. So my brain is like, like what? Okay, there's Hosea. Hosea 6:2. Let's see what it says. Okay. Okay. And after 2 days will he revive us. In the third day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. Well, that's kind of interesting. I find that kind of interesting, you know. Thank you. Okay. Now, what's the context he's talking about here? I'm not quite sure. You'd have to watch his YouTube more to see what kind of context he's trying to promote. Okay. And the third day. Okay, there we are. How many days here? Is that another reason he waited 2 more days to go get Lazarus? A day is 1,000 years. After 2 days, okay, it could be reference to 2,000 years. Day as a year. Will he revive us the third day? Now that's interesting. He will raise us up and we shall live in his sight. Okay, it's talking about raise us up. Resurrection? Catching up? Live in his sight. Okay. So this is what the guy at pretrib is probably trying to promote. Okay, after 2 days, okay, the death and resurrection after 2 days. But what happened when he was resurrected? See, they kind of just kind of skip over that. So they're pre-trib. And he will revive us in the 3rd day. Well, that's coming up, isn't it? 1997 years now since his death and resurrection. Fulfilled the prophecy of the second Adam. Gregorian calendar is not correct. The Hebrew calendar, no. When it says the king reigned 40 years or whatever number of years, doesn't say. It says in his 40th year. Could have been 40 years or 10, 11 months. Okay. And he will raise us up. Okay. Talking about rapture, I think, here. He will resurrect us and we'll be caught up. We shall live in his sight. Where? Okay. Then there's a 1,000-year reign. Okay. He returns to the earth. There's no resurrection from the Mount of Olives. We read that, Zechariah 14. Okay? This is kind of interesting. Do you want to go? Maybe we should go to see what he says here. The rapture comes first, end of times, order of events. Okay, the rapture comes first. Rapture is Latin. Greek is harpazo. English is caught up. Okay, so get over the terminology. Rapture comes first, end of times. But where see again, he misses it. Why? What happened to him when he resurrected? Matthew 27. But they don't want to read it. I don't know. Can't get this up. Oh, I don't know why that won't come up. Sorry. Won't come up. Well, it seems to be working a little bit. It's got the little circle going around and around. Okay, I'm coming up to 2 hours. I try to end this. I don't want to drag it out all day. Okay, other people's got other things to do. Okay, it's under my name. I got different ones. And no, I'll maybe do a 2-minute little blip. Okay, it seems to be coming up there a little bit now. You can see it going around and around. It's thinking. Okay, patience. Well, we want a more powerful microwave. We don't want to wait. Okay. Dog-eared Disciple channel. Okay.
Welcome to the Dog-Eared Disciple channel. I'm David Floyd, and once again we're getting together to have a little bit of Bible study time. And I'm so glad you're here today. I hope you're doing well. We're having a great day here today. It's a beautiful day. I'm feeling pretty healthy. I hope you are too. And I hope that you're sharing your prayer requests. It's really important as a part of our little ministry here that we have an opportunity to hear from you. Things that are going well.
Now this could be just in his house.
If you have any needs, that you're putting those requests.
It's not just his kitchen, not just a blank wall at the back. I kind of wonder why people do that. He's not trying to portray that he's in a congregation here, like one guy portrays, and then he uses the American address. He's in Calgary, Alberta. What's he trying to portray?
That comes up from time to time. And I'd like to be able to go to Scripture and address these things. I'm sure you've heard these things as well, and some questions that may be coming up for you. And hopefully this will be helpful. Today we're going to be talking about Hosea 6:2.
The statement that I'd like to address is where one of the subscribers had heard or suggested that the rapture cannot happen imminently, or that is at any time, but will happen at the beginning of the third day from the cross, based on a day being 1,000 years and the creation model of 6 days followed by a Sabbath rest. Well, brothers and sisters, first of all, let me say that I believe and teach from literal contextual interpretation of Scripture. I believe that speculation on things concerning the Scripture should be kept to a minimum, and we should allow the Scripture to interpret Scripture as the Holy Spirit instructs us.
That sounds nice, but he doesn't want to go to Matthew 27. See, I believe the problem we've got, we're trying to fit both feet into one shoe. It doesn't work. Every 1,000 years, Enoch was in the first 1,000. Okay? Every 1,000, Psalms 90. Okay? You can go through this. I just heard it. See? This is where the Orthodox Jew thinks he comes to the Mount Olives. But he clearly says the saints come with thee. From where? From some cave where Enoch was? What? You got Enoch still waiting in the cave? I think Enoch's getting a little impatient. He wasn't afraid. Afraid of what? Afraid of dying? See, and you got this all in the future yet when Daniel, a dietary thing, is causing love to wax cold. That, I believe, was a Jesuit counter-Reformation teaching. Okay, it's all in the future yet. Hey, they tried to hide the fact. They tried to pay the guards off to say he didn't resurrect, that they stole the body. Come on. And, yeah, we've got that part. Some Islam still tries to teach you it was somebody else, or he didn't really die, he didn't really resurrect. Come on. Okay? So most of us kind of got that fact. How many people think it's just mythological? Hey, two rocks bang together? I told the Catholic guy, I don't have time for your nonsense. Next time he talked to me decently. We studied stuff. He's leaning toward atheism. Got hooked on gambling, had to go back driving a bus again. Why? I think they knew he had the line of credit. Got mugged. Ribs broke. Could have been killed. He's my age. Had to go back driving transit bus. There's problems around. He doesn't recover as well as the younger people. The graves were opened. Okay? And many bodies. See, we kind of understand, but we kind of just slide past the fact that they tried to pay the guards off even about his resurrection. You think they don't want to hide this away? How can we understand the present if we don't understand the past correctly? Mr. American? Come on, it doesn't want to play. How come it not playing?
In 2 Corinthians 10, 3 through 6, it reads,
2 Corinthians. Okay, maybe we should just play that a bit. All right, there's 2 Corinthians. How about that? Okay.
Walk in the flesh, we do not war according to
3:10.
the flesh, for the weapons of our warfare are not of the flesh, but divinely powerful for the destruction of fortresses. We are destroying speculations and every lofty thing raised up against the knowledge of God.
But the letter
And we are
killeth,
taking every thought
the
captive
Spirit
to
give
the
life.
obedience of Christ.
Hey,
And we are ready to punish all disobedience wherever.
maybe we should listen sometime more of an open ear when people are accusing us of just being legalistic, Mr. Adventist. Saturday keeper. Seventh day Saturday keeper. Do you really understand the term Sabbath? The guy at the congregation, call it assembly, call it a whatever you want. One guy, synagogue of Satan. No, it'd be take a brother to court. That's the term the Jews have. Okay? So understand what he's saying here. But when I said to the guy, is it Saturday, seventh day, or is it Sabbath? He knew full well what I meant.
You're obedient, whenever you're obedient.
The one guy was anxiously waiting for the clock to go down, to go working all night. And then when it came time to pay me, wanted to pawn off an old truck to me. On and on and on. Okay, I got bills to pay too, you know. Did the pastor want to deal with any of it? No, because they're an influential family. So he just sloughs it off. Okay. Ezekiel 34, they fed upon the sheep and did not feed the sheep. See, they don't want to cover these things.
Is complete. And in 1 Corinthians 4:6 we read,
Oh, we're over 2
now
hours.
these things, brethren, I have figuratively applied to myself and Apollos for your sakes, so that in us you may learn not to exceed what is written, so that no one of you will become arrogant in behalf of one against the other.
I will listen to this guy more sometime. Okay, maybe in the middle of the night when I can't sleep sometime, put my headset on. Wife's trying to sleep, and I'm either reading like this morning, what time, and then I was sleeping. And right now I need a coffee. Yeah. We're all wired and buzzed up. I tried to get the native girl off of smoking. I bought a single cigar because I'm out of lobelia to cough up my phlegm. Don't even have a car to get there. Only one place in all of Calgary, Alberta, over 1 million population. One place in Saskatchewan. A doctor that got dragged to the courts in Canada told me about it. He had to move to South Dakota. He was politically involved. I wonder why South Dakota didn't lock down. How many Canadians that are politically active? A lot of them moved to Mexico. Clinics run by Canadian doctors that have had to leave. Is that where the colony guy? It cost him 10,000 Canadian dollars for some high-tech robotic surgery on his back. I will talk to them, see how his brother's doing. They made the one brother the head of the colony.
So it's important that we, as ground rules.
And you know why? The other 3 brothers had already left. The one even left when he was only 14 years old with the older brother. Okay. Their grandmother, I guess, was from North Dakota. She was a born-again believer. Ooh. Yeah, some of the colonies are separating themselves from the other colonies. They got this idea, just get dunked in the water and stay in the colony and you're in the ark and, you know, all this business. The guy hoofed it down the road at 18 years old with nothing. Okay? Stay home and slop the hogs when another family gets to go to town. Hey, lots of politics on the colonies. You want to... Okay, some of them, I believe, are coming with 80 and 90-year mortgages. This happened in the commercial high-rises property in Toronto, trying to stabilize the real estate. Well, a farm should 100 years ago should be paying for itself, so maybe it's better than cash rent. I kind of flipped that. If I had a good crop, not a problem. If I had a bad crop, well, I can flip the property if I get busy and do the farm improvements. Yeah, I had to do that. Surviving 22% interest and over $1 million. I got caught big time. Other guy, one guy shot himself in the car that I'd sold him. My ex-brother-in-law knew what went down. Okay. Here. Got a minute here. From Hamilton, Ontario. What's he saying now? Pray for these people. Come out of their pre-trib stuff. Okay? There he's got this back on again. That's an older... He had that on before he had the flyaway business with his ironing board and his helmet on.
It's Brother Aaron from God a Minute. Warning, I'm going to do this slurp. Haven't done this in a while. Let's do it.
Yeah, I need my coffee too.
It's the end of the world, buddy. 2 scoops of hallelujah, 1 scoop of praise the Lord.
Like he's the age of my sons.
For 1 minute,
okay.
And then I'm going to show you this little chart. You want to go on a mountain trip with me? We got Felipe. Felipe came off the ladder. He's going to go on a mountain trip with us to discover some patterns and some cool things in the Bible. So,
hey, I used to play with Lego when I was a kid too, huh? What did I do? I put it together with my mechanical, put screws in it, built all kinds of stuff, okay, before they even had the little motors. This is what I was doing. Okay, take the little generator off my bike, put it on my mom's little riding treadmill because it's super cold outside in Saskatchewan, so she had that. I hook it in with a heater, so have a heater beside her if she wants it. Because it was out in a room that we called the veranda. It was more a storage area. It wasn't heated. It was more for summertime to get out of the heat, okay? Like, come on. Natural air conditioning. Yeah, we had that on the tractor cabs. It's called a swamp cooler. You take cold water. It helped a little bit. It didn't have proper full-time air conditioning. Most young people know nothing about this stuff. My dad called a horse the big Clydesdale, the big Belgium with a foot the size of what? Okay? A plate. These others are riding ponies. We had a cutting horse for the cattle. My brother didn't like to ride it anymore. Right? Threw him over the fence. You had to ride the thing every day, otherwise it was so high strung and spirited. Full gallop down the half mile. Come to the fence and he stopped and my brother went flying over. So I took him full gallop. And then he's punting and panting. So now he behaves himself and I turn him and walk back to the yard. Calgary Stampede coming up here. They wear their hats and cowboy boots. How many of them actually know how to saddle a horse? They got more riding ponies in Alberta now than they went and used the horses for work. But they're going to take away the cows. A lot of the land is not suitable for tillage. What are you going to... And the pigs will totally tear out the ground. Okay, the wild boars are doing this. They run chickens wild. No, they put them in barns out in Manitoba where it's too cold actually for the cattle. Why do you think the feedlots are in the warmer areas? Okay, cattle, it's too cold for them outside. Okay, I know this. My dad had a little feedlot just to market the grain when he saw I could move it for seed production. He shut the little feedlot down. My mom didn't think he'd do that. No, we had to change things. Things were going to the big round bales and everything else. Hey, maybe we should have got into it. Hindsight's 2020. Instead, I went gung-ho into specialized crops and big equipment. Yeah, I was involved with some huge massive manufacturing. We built a 110-foot tillage in 1980 already. Big Bud had their 750 horsepower tractor down in Hammer, Montana. I know these people. Okay? This is my farm background. Okay? Feast of Trumpets this fall. Look at this guy. Age of my sons. One guy, half my age, accused me of interrupting the young lady. That was my wife. Yeah. I asked. Yeah, I put egg on his face that day. Hey. Here, Noah, the eighth person. So he's repeatedly trying to tell us things. 7 days in the week. Daniel 27, 9:27 is in context with the rest of the chapter. 26 is Messiah. But what are these people teaching? They don't want to leave the pre-trib idea alone. No. How can they understand where we're at correctly and like even project into the future? Pentecost already happened. Okay. I'll watch through it later on. It's over 2 hours now. I need a coffee. I want to do a little bit, 3-minute blurb. Okay, have a good day.